Upsala, sorry. Okay, we move on. So now we go back to the user side, and I'm very happy to have with us today Ozer Ergul, who's the Chief Procurement Officer, Aquila Capital, big developer, and Ozer will talk about ESG considerations in procurement, which become more and more important. And Ozer has been actually active in various initiatives pushing that forward. He will talk about that. Ozer, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Michael. Can you hear me?
Yep, all good.
Perfect. Let's try to start the screen. Can you see that?
Yep, it works.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you, Michael. And I would like to start with celebrating holidays. And if you are believing celebrating Eid Mubarak, and for someone like me, as time for that. Let's see who's talking, right? And if you're not with me. As you can see, my name, typical Dutch, and with Turkish origin. And I spent like the last 25 years in energy businesses after spending some time. So I'm working for Aquila Capital. Just quick intro for the company. And we are investing on sustainable infrastructure by combining project development and investment solutions. We are using someone else's money, someone else like pension funds or institutional investors. And it's the kind of 23 years old company with 700 employees. Until now, we developed 25.7 gigawatts of wind, solar, hydro, and we have 15 billion euros under our management. And you can see different asset classes, and especially in Europe and Asia Pac. Asia Pac is small but growing faster than EMEA, and we are talking about 370 solar parks in turbines. So I would like to give some perspective about buyer's view or investor view or developer view, right? And how do you see as buyers the market? And if you are familiar with my earlier the conversations or the presentations, I'm talking about four main challenges in the market and creating concern for the money, right? The money don't like risk or uncertainties. The most important one, I believe, is supply security, and we have some critical material or capacities concentrated in some regions that we cannot blame those countries developing capacities, investing, and in the end, accelerating solar development, right? And if you look at last 20 years, the solar prices came down like an autopilot, right? We don't do anything. In the end, we have reached a kind of more than 20% return rate. And now we are concerned about everything is coming from a specific region. Yes, but this is the typical and the result of the fighting for profit, right? And instead of considering the strategic securities. And the other difficulty, now we see more volatility. I mean, it is very normal that categories of commodities will be fluctuating, but we see the higher peaks and the deeper valleys, and we can see even shipping rates, right? Or lithium or silicon. And we believe that this will continue. This is also distracting money, right? I mean, because we would like to see kind of certainty for a project we are building for 2027. So market we should find, and there are different ways to do it, how to hedge this so that you will not be impacted by the drops or the rallies. And there were very interesting presentations so far about innovation, right? We see innovation can be also a kind of dark side of the moon, right? So it's a kind of rapid change of technology, and it's also a kind of concern. Presenters talk about reliability, new technologies coming to market very quick, and we would like to see more standardization so that we can, or more mature technologies. I'm not talking about sticking to PERC, but at least having a kind of being avoiding being a kind of a guinea pig for these technologies. And last but not least, supply chain transparency is increasingly becoming a kind of concern if we cannot jointly find a kind of solution and the visibility in our supply chain. It is not about traceability, it's not about the transparency itself, but creating a kind of joint solution, right? And understanding buyer and seller perspective, because customers are now more aware and they have higher expectations. Not only customers but also other the stakeholders like interest groups and the activists. And there will be also increasing regulatory coming in. I mean, if you look at corporate social sustainability due diligence, and there will be more questions. And it is not like 2 years ago when we first see that the reports are coming to market, and it's a kind of wake up call. So now lenders or buyers asking much more professional questions. Now it's transparency or sustainability about buying anything. I'm not only talking about solar panels. It's becoming a kind of non-price criteria for selecting equipment. Regardless of what is the price, I mean, if we cannot, or buyers cannot have a kind of confidence and the assurance that there's not any wrongdoing in this product, so we will be a bit reluctant to buy. Okay. Now, all industries, and it is not unique to solar panels or solar industry that we don't have full visibility in our supply chains, because supply chains are not designed to be transparent due to different reasons. It can be competition, it can IP rights, and so on and so forth. But when you went up in your supply chain, you are reaching a kind of visibility barrier, and it can be a kind of different tier. And for our case, the common name is when you reach a polysilicon or metal grade. And so what we did, okay, one step solution is that traceability, right? I mean, you can see a kind of sourcing map at where the components of solar panel coming from, right? Or the battery and or a kind of tracker. So that, but this is nice to have maybe, right? I mean, but is there all the nodes in your supply chain are the audited, validated, verified that there's no wrongdoing, so that you can create a kind of green channel, right? And so that, for instance, in this case, number 2, you can consider the kind of reliable partner. So industry reacting to this, and so how can we increase the transparency? And there are different technologies of transparency. You can see, you can use a kind of blockchain. I see more manufacturers are talking about this. You can have maybe science-based traceability. You can look at the trace elements or isotopes. But Solar Power Europe and Solar Energy UK, and we have decided to go for a multi-stakeholder initiative, right? And called Solar Stewardship Initiative. We will talk about this at a later stage. This is a kind of collaborative platform for solving this complex problem. And it is not a kind of compliance issue. It is stakeholders should really understand what is the expectation from each other, so that we can have a kind of very clean product. And because this is our responsibility as industry. Our product is a kind of solution to climate crisis. And we should assure that there's no any question mark on it, and there should not be any friction ahead of the accelerating solar, so that it can be kind of the forerunner solution for the climate crisis. So, it's a kind of journey, right? I mean, we know that from other industries. When you benchmark, if you look at footwear, to textile, to palm oil, so they will be following exactly the same, and they have the same kind of visibility problem. The code of conduct, okay, you're asking questions, you're asking your suppliers to comply with some requirements, and you're cascading this. But this is very early stage, I can tell, very primitive stage, right? This is not given full confidence, and it's a kind of self-declaration. But if you go with the kind of standards and the certifications, and this another step, and if you go in the kind of upper level in your supply chain, but our target is to have a kind of full disclosure. I mean, like, you have a kind of QR code in your solar panel. Where you scan it, you can see where the metal grade polysilicon, metal grade silicon comes, and all the your production steps or suppliers are audited and verified. There are some industries able to do that, and but we, as Solar Power Europe, we believe that for industry, and we believe that this is achievable. But this is not a kind of quick fix. There is no quick fix that we can go and apply, or pushing the suppliers to comply with the questionnaires. And there should be a kind of commitment, right? I'm always giving this example, like seatbelt. Seatbelt, if you buckling your seatbelt just to avoid the penalty, this is the kind of compliance. But if you are buckling your seatbelt that it can be a kind of risk for your life, this is commitment, right? So we should move our mindset for the more commitment and together. And I can see that in the market, there's a huge shift in the approach of sellers and manufacturers. The early stage, we had the denial. Now we see they are coming to buyers with some innovative solutions. And going forward, technical innovation, good, excellent, but going forward, we will be looking for more innovation for sustainability. So it's about transparency, it's about carbon emissions, it's about the social impact, the governance. I think this will be the future. I think we have limited time to keep the temperatures low in this planet. It's a solar industry. We have this responsibility. Our generation will always remember, based on what decisions they're going to take now and in next decade. So I try to keep it short, Michael, and back to you, and any questions we can answer.
Okay, perfect. Ozer, I suggest actually, since we run so much behind, that we keep that also for the panel in the end, where you will participate. And if there's any question in the meantime to the audience, please write it in the chat. Ozer will be happy to answer that until we come to the panel. Yeah. Thanks a lot. That was great. And again, it's an important topic, as Ozer has said. And if the industry is not doing it on its own, which in Europe at least it tries through the Solar Stewardship Initiative, there will be boundary conditions more and more set by governments. And it's always better if you come from the industry side first.